Today is November 18th. I'm sorry I'm not here today. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling well. There's a practice test to complete today. You'll click right here to start it. And then when you finish that, I would like you to work on missing assignments. There's enough missing assignments for everyone to have something to work on. So you'll click here for the practice test. Remember, mine looks a little different than yours because mine's a teacher screen. So just be patient. Mine will look different than yours. And then once you are finished, please work on missing assignments. So here's what the practice test looks like. It's similar to what we did yesterday. It is slightly different. So the first question comes up, given the graph, fill out the stuff. So the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis at. So right here, we can see it crosses right there at 2. So for the y-intercept, you're going to type in 2. For the slope, you have to follow the line left to right. You'll notice it's going down. It crosses again in the corner of a box there. Since it's going down, it means that we have a negative slope. It is negative 2 over 1. So negative 2 over 1. The equation of the line then would be y equals negative 2 over 1x plus 2. We look at the next question. It wants us to graph the line. And so the first thing you have to do is you have to click where it says line AB. Plus 3 stands for our y-intercept. Plus 3 would be right here. And then it's going to graph a line, but it's not the right one. And so pull that line back, and it says negative 4 is the slope. Remember that we can write anything that's an integer over the number 1 to give us a slope. So it means to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1 to the right. We always go to the right. The next question is the same type of question. I want you to graph it. It says negative 4 is our y-intercept, so we start down here on negative 4. And then it says 6 over 5 is the slope, so it goes up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we always go to the right. Looking at the next question, it wants me to line up the right equation with the right one. So it says, this one says the b, or the y-intercept, is negative 6. And so we look where one says minus 6. We've got 2 right here. And so it says slope is positive 2. So we want to make sure we select this one because it has a positive 2 for the slope. Now the next one says slope is negative 2 and the y-intercept is positive 2. So we're looking for one that says plus 2 at the end. We've only got one of those, so it has to be this one. But you'll see that the slope is negative 2 as well. Here we want the slope to be negative 2, or I'm sorry, the y-intercept to be negative 2. We've got 2 of those, one right here, one right here. And we want the slope to be negative 6. The only one that has a slope of negative 6 is right there. For the next type of question, it wants you to write the equation. Again, you're going to do this the same way that you would do one that doesn't. So the b here, or the y-intercept, is negative 1. And then the slope, we follow the line left to right, and you'll notice it's going down, so we know it's negative, which is right there. It goes down 2 and over 5. So our slope is negative 2 over 5. And our equation that we would then write would be y equals negative 2 over 5. Make sure you click beside it. X minus 1. Same thing on this one. It wants us to find the b and the y and the slope, the y-intercept and the slope. So the b is right here. It crosses at 2. And then we follow the line. It looks like it crosses again there. If we go straight up, that's going to be a rise of 6 and a run of 2. Don't get tricked because it's counting by 2s, not by 1s. So our slope here, left to right, is going up, is 6 over 2. Again, don't get tricked here. They're both divisible by 2. So this is really 3 over 1. So this would be y equals 3 over 1 x, and then since it's positive 2, it would be plus 2.
So listen very carefully. We're again going to
Sorry about the announcements.
by teams. So we're going to start with the Naval
So,
Academy and Florida
for
teams.
this, it wants us to match
to your buses.
it wants us to match the equation with the proper thing. It says minus 1 here. When we go through and we can look, there's only one that has minus 1 as a y-intercept, and that's right here. But we have to check to make sure the slope is 5. So what we do is the change from here to here is minus 2. And the change from here to here is plus 2. Well, that gives us a slope of negative 2 over 1. Well, that doesn't work. So now we got to go back through and check these other ones. So we know it's not D. I also know it's not C because it has a y-intercept of 0, and we said ours was negative 1. So when we look at B, from here to here, the change is plus 5, and from the change here to here, it is plus 1, which gives us a slope of 5 over 1. This could be our thing. So if we want to go back to 0, see what the slope would be, this would be minus 2 would give us 0. Well, on this side, we're minusing 5 for every time we minus 1. So we're going to subtract 10. This would give us negative 1 as our y-intercept. And so all I did was, well, if I'm minusing 2 to get back to 0, I doubled that. So this would have to be double as well. And then double check and see what your, oh, that's what we needed. So we know that it has to be B. It's one of the tougher ones.
We are now ready for Team Alabama and Team Stanford. You are now dismissed to your buses.
Now, on this problem, it wants you to put what the slope means. One thing that you need to realize is that slope always means the title of this per the title of this. So this is going to be grams per marbles. And so when we look at our drop-down box, look and see if you can find marbles per weight. The slope represents weight per marbles, which is what we were looking for, weight per marbles. And then the y-intercept is always what you start with. So the y-intercept represents the number of marbles per weight. The y-intercept represents the weight of the jar before any marbles added. The y-intercept represents the, I couldn't see that last one. Y-intercept represents the weight per number of marbles. It's going to be, the y-intercept represents the jar before any marbles are added. It's a tough one. What we're generally looking here is what they start with. And so that would be what you start with is the jar before there are any marbles. On the next one, it just wants you to find the slope. So one way to look at that is notice that it goes plus 4 here. And then notice here that it goes minus 2. And then that means that the slope has to be 4 over negative 2. Well, if I reduce that, it's going to be negative 2 over 1.
Have a great afternoon, Highland.
And so we can just type in negative 2 over 1. And then the last and final problem is just some true-false questions that are asking about the graph in general. So it says the slope is miles per inch. Well, remember, it's always the whatever this is per whatever this is. So miles per inch, that would be true. Slope represents the inch per mile. Well, that can't be true if the other one's true, so this is false. 3 inches represents 175 miles. We'll go to 3, follow it up the line, and straight across. You'll see that that is true. Then it says 2 inches represents 75 miles. We'll go to 2, go straight up, You can see that that is false. And that would be completed and stuff. Please work on missing assignments. There are many of you that have several missing assignments. I would appreciate it if you could get those done.